بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وسرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة فمامه خماله فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بوالدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك تتهى الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تتهى الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تتهى الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بوالدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تتهى الكساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه السلام عليك يا من كسره الله وتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تتهى الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل معهما تتهى الكساء فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تتهى الكساء فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله أتأذن وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسيي وخليفتي وصاحب اللواء قد أذنت لك فدخل علي تتهى الكساء ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تتهى الكساء قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بدعتي قد أذنت لك فدخلت تتهى الكساء فلما اكتملنا جميعا تتهى الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومي بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحمتي لحمي ودموهم دمي يؤلموني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنوني ما يحزنوهم أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن صالمهم وعدو لمن ناداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. الله فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدعو ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في بحمتي هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل يا رب أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. رسول الله العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويقصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدعو ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذن لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله خبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذن والله إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثانيا يا علي الذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا وذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيها مجمع من شيتنا ومحبينا وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مهموم إلا وكشف الله غمه وما هو لا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسوئدنا وكذلك شيتنا فازوا وسعيدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد wa ali Muhammad. I'd like to request now Brother Muhammad to come up to read a short salam for us. Salawat Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Salawat. O daughter of Ali and Fatima, Ummul Masaib, Shariqatul Hussain. O daughter of Ali and Fatima, Ummul Masaib, Shariqatul Hussain. O Our Lady Zainab, we offer unto you our condolences on your 72. On O Muhammad, Qasim Akbar, Ghazi Asghar, and your brother Hussain. O daughter of Ali and Fatima, Ummul Masaib, Shariqatul Hussain. I am in shackles, they took my chadar, and on a spear's raised your head biradar. But faith is in my heart, Zainab will do her part to spread the message of Shahadatul Hussain. O daughter of Ali and Fatima, Masa'ib, Sharikatul Husain. These sermons that you gave, O daughter of Ali, in Kufa and Damascus, defeated tyranny. Oh, little did they know the cursed Ashqiya. You took the Zulfiqar بعد قتل Hussein. O daughter of Ali, Ali and Fatima, Masa'ib, Sharikatul Husain. How well did you reflect? How well did you protect the true image of your Nana Rasulullah, Sadiq Adel, Alim Aqil, Sabir Shaqil, مثل Hassan Hussein. O daughter of Ali, Ali and Fatima, Masa'ib, Sharikatul Husain. O Our Lady Zainab, the standards that you set for patience and for grace, we shall never forget, for we are the Shia, the fruits of your dua, who will forever say, Labbaika ya Hussein. O daughter of Ali, Ali and Fatima, Masa'ib, Sharikatul Husain. Salawat.
Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. MashaAllah, thank you, Brother Muhammad, for that wonderful salam. Salawat wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And before I call up the Maulana, I'd like to request all of you to kindly please move forward as much as possible so we have proper Majlis etiquette. Please kindly put your cell phones on silent so we don't disturb the Majlis. We're honored today to have Sheikh AbdulRahman Cherri with us from Michigan. He has a bachelor's degree in liberal arts with a focus in economics from the University of Michigan. He began studying at the Hawza Qum in 2015, and he's still continuing his Hawza studies to today. He also is a PhD candidate at the University of Munster in Germany in the Department of Islamic Theology. Sheikh has been involved in various projects and teaching courses, including Mufid Seminary and Al-Hujjah Seminary. I'd like to request Sheikh to come to the member with a loud salawat. Allahumma صل على محمد وآل محمد.
صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي وابن مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة. We're describing the Imam as being the vast mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya rahmatullahi al-wasi'ah. Wa ya baba najat al-ummah. You are the door of salvation for this nation. Ya laytana thumma ya laytana kunna ma'akum sayyidi. We request or we ask from the Imam, or in fact we express to him our emotions and our wish and our desire to have been with him in Karbala. Ya laytana kunna ma'akum. This is found in the ziyarah of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam that he recited for his grandfather Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Ya laytana kunna ma'akum sayyidi fanafuza fawzan azima. He describes those who are with the Imam alayhi salam to be individuals who were victorious. And he says, I wish that I was with you so that I could have been victorious with you in that battle. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In a hadith by Imam Ali alayhi salam to one of his companions named Kumayl ibn Ziyad al-Nakhai. Most of you must have heard of Kumayl, correct? What is he known for? Dua Kumayl. One of the close companions of Imam Ali alayhi salam. In some narrations we have that he was the bearer of his secrets. If we look at the personality of Kumayl ibn Ziyad, we realize that he was one of those individuals who were closer to the Imam than others were. Not every companion is to be held at the same level. Just like in the circle of your own friendship, you have people who you consider to be those who you can tell your secrets to, people who you can trust. And there are those people that you say things with and you can hang out with and you can speak with, but you don't tell them everything about your life. You don't trust them with everything. They might not lie. They might not talk about you in a bad way. They might not say to people what you tell them not to say, but they might not be able to handle the knowledge or the secrets that you inform them of. They don't have the intellectual capacity or the spiritual capacity to understand it. And then there are those companions or friends that you have that you only say hi and bye to. The moment you tell them something and you tell them, don't say this to anybody, immediately they go and tell someone else. There was this one Yemeni guy. He has these short videos, a very funny guy. Now, I don't understand the Yemeni accent very well. I didn't understand it until I was working at a public school in Michigan for a short period of time during COVID. So I worked there for a few months, and the district that I was teaching in, it was online obviously, everything was online at that time. it had a big population of Yemenis, and they came after the war happened with Saudi Arabia. A lot of them immigrated to the US and they came here. And me being the one who apparently knows Arabic in the school, it was a district that didn't have a lot of Arabic-speaking people. They asked me if I can also, thank you very much, in addition to the teaching that I'm doing, they asked me if I can assist them with translation. And I said, sure, yeah, I can translate. Yemens are the original Arabs, right? All the Arabs go back to Yemen somehow. So they put me on this call. This parent had an issue and she couldn't speak English. So I go on the phone and she says, Salam alaikum. I said, alaikum salam. After that, I had no idea what she was saying. Just the salam. And she's speaking Arabic. But to me, it was gibberish. I had no idea what she was saying. And I thought I needed a translator to translate to me what they're saying into Arabic, and then I translate that into English. So I felt terrible because I'm here in this parent-teacher meeting, and I have no idea what to tell a teacher, so I had to make up stuff and things like that. No, I didn't do that. I assumed. I didn't make it up completely. I assumed, picking up a word here and there, that this is what she's saying. But I also asked her, I told her, Hajia, please, if you can speak in a more formal Arabic, like how they do on the news or in the books, maybe I'll understand you. Because even simple words like the days of the week are different, the pronunciation of it. So this comedian or this individual, I learned how to understand because I began speaking with the Yemenis. I went online and started watching Yemeni videos, and I started speaking with Yemeni people. I eventually caught on this. So this person was like, I'm an individual who you shouldn't tell any secret to. Especially if you tell me and you tell me after it, don't tell anybody. As soon as you say that, something comes inside of me and makes me feel like I need to tell someone else. I can't control myself. So some of us have those friends. You tell them something and they can't hide it. And this was, true for the Imams alayhim salam as well. There are many companions who they told not to say things to other people. And then they went and they exposed their secrets. To the point that when the companions or the friends of the Imam used to go and expose those secrets, the Imam alayhi salam was then faced by people from their enemies who used to come to them and tell them, is it true that you said so and so? And the Imam would be forced to deny it. Because if he accepts it, these people don't understand what is meant by it. They might think this is kufr, they might think this is un-Islamic, or they might think that the Imam is trying to push some political agenda and therefore he'll put himself and his companions in danger. So he had to deny this. Kumayl ibn Ziyad was one of those companions who was very close to Imam Ali salam, and he bore his secrets. He carried the secrets of the Imam. If we look at the ahadith that Imam Ali salam had with Kumayl, the conversations, a lot of them go by the Imam addressing Kumayl. Oh Kumayl, so and so and so. And then Kumayl would respond with a question to the Imam. Can you elaborate further for me? There was dialogues. Some ahadith tell us that Imam Ali alayhi salam used to go out in the dark at night and Kumayl would accompany him to a graveyard or to some open land, and they would have conversations until the morning. One of those ahadith is known as Hadith al-Haqiqa, the hadith of the secret. And if you can read this and understand anything from it, you can come to me after and explain to me what the Imam is saying. Because I read it and I read commentary on it, and it's still very vague. They're talking in a very encrypted language. The Imam answers the question with 2 or 3 words. And the Kumayl then asks him the next question, or tells him to elaborate further. The Imam elaborates in 2 or 3 words. And as if Kumayl is being given this knowledge little by little, but all in secret language. So this is Kumayl. He was a very special individual. And when we look at the dua, we have to understand the Imam was teaching this individual the dua. This individual who had the capacity to carry such secrets and high spiritual stations. So it's not a simple dua when we're reading it. If you read it, make sure you contemplate over the content. Don't make it something like you're just reading a regular book or a regular sentence or phrases. Think about everything the Imam is saying in this dua. He didn't give the same dua to every individual. Every individual has a different spiritual capacity. They're at a different spiritual state. Some individuals who are on a very low spiritual level, they're suffering from many materialistic or low spiritual problems. So for example, if we look at the ethical problems, if you're someone who still have not elevated, you're still in the lower levels of the nafs, an-nafs al-ammara, the nafs that commands to evil, then you are inflicted with spiritual diseases such as anger, such as envy, jealousy, greed, lying, backbiting. All of these fall into the category of the first level of spirituality. This is your lowest level of your spirit. Once you pass this, and you pass it by eliminating all of these traits. In fact, some ulama say these traits are the prerequisite, the elimination of these traits are the prerequisite to starting the spiritual path. It's not even part of the spiritual path yet. At first, if you want to embark on this journey, you have to become a human being. You have to eliminate your animalistic side. Before that, how can you walk on this path of spirituality? First, you have to become a human, because it's only humans who are able to elevate spiritually. And inside of us, we have an animalistic side. The Imam tells us in one of the ahadith that he speaks to Kumail as well, he tells him that one of the selves that you have is an animalistic self. And in order to become a human, you have to get rid of this. Anger comes from your animalistic side. And if you look at the animal kingdom, a lot of animals carry certain traits that our nafs carries. If you have the Quran uses these similes. He says that, a person might be compared to a dog. If you attack him, he'll bite you or he'll try to harm you. And if you leave him, he'll also try to harm you. This is an animalistic characteristic. Backbiting, having jealousy, having envy towards other people. It means you still have not overcome your ego. You still have not overcome your nafs. You're still an animal in human form. So the first step that we have to do is to eliminate these traits. And once we do, we become ready and prepared to walk on this path of spirituality. Ibn Sina, one of the Muslim philosophers, a lot of you must have heard of him. In the Latin, he's known as Avicenna here in the West. He has a very famous phrase in one of his philosophy books. He says that جل جناب الحق أن يكون شرعة لكل وارد. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's too exalted for anybody to come and go into His dominion. Allah is above that. In order for you to enter the dominion, you have to purify yourself. And this is what Salah teaches us. That if you want to embark on the spiritual journey, you want to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to be pure as an individual. Because in the realm of Allah, there's only tahara. There's only purity. In Jannah, there's only purity. There's no najasa, there's no impurity. And God is trying to teach us this step by step, by beginning with the external form of purity. When you want to come and pray, and you want to stand on your prayer mat, are you allowed to go there with najasa and impurities on you? You're not allowed. You think to yourself, why do I have to wash? Allah's teaching us that this place that you're coming to, where you're standing, when you come and stand before me, you have to be pure. This is different from your other world. Consciously, you have to be different. Psychologically, you have to be different. Spiritually, you have to be different. He trains us. You begin with the external form of purity. You remove any impurities from your body. No najasas, no impurities. You come here to pray, you have to be externally pure. This is the basic, the minimum at least. And this is an introduction in order to purify you internally as well. Allah begins with us according to our levels. He can't speak to us as if we're prophets and talk to us about the highest levels of intellectualization and spirituality. We're not there yet. He starts with us gradually, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at least in the religion of Islam, we believe is a very pragmatic God. Very understanding of the human condition. Islam is a religion that is of that sort. There are some religions that don't take this into consideration. Because a lot of people look at Islam and say, you know what, why doesn't Islam sound like some Buddhist book where it talks about, this deep spiritual concepts in very encrypted words? A lot of people get interested in these other Eastern religions, and I'm not criticizing them or talking bad about them in any sense, but I'm saying this is a question that might come to your mind. Why is the language of the Quran such a simple language? Why does it sound like God is speaking to the man or the woman at the marketplace? Because Islam is taking into consideration the least individual in this world and speaks to them and then tries to elevate them and elevate everyone else with them. This is the nature of Islam. It's very pragmatic. It didn't come for an elite group of monks who go to a mountain and start performing some form of spiritual practices in order to reach nirvana or reach some form of higher spiritual consciousness. It's not only for them. Yes, through Islam you can reach this. It's possible, there's a path. But it's not only this path in Islam. For those who want it, they can find it. But not everybody wants this. Not everybody wants to become a guru, right? Not everybody wants to become a monk. And not everybody can. So Islam came to speak to everybody according to their level. So it had to communicate with individuals according to the most basic form of language. But we know that within this language that the Quran uses, there's many secrets that are hidden in it. The sentence might look like it's simple, but in the depth of it, if you contemplate, you delve into deeper and deeper and deeper meanings. Look at that chapter of Tawheed. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Say that Allah is one or unique, right? We recite it in our salat most of the time. You might look at this surah and say, this is a very simple concept, very simple language. But in our ahadith, the Imam ﷺ tells us that this surah, this chapter, was revealed for the people at the end of times because they're going to have higher spiritual levels and higher spiritual realization, and these verses were revealed for them. They will derive from it the secrets that they are able to derive. How do you take from the Quran? You take in according to your spiritual level. The higher you reach, the higher you're able to comprehend from it. That same surah, that same verse, that same ayah that you're reciting, if you improve spiritually and you read it again, is going to mean something else for you. And this is like the Imams ﷺ when they tell us that the Quran has an outer meaning and it has an inner meaning. In the Quran lahu ظَهْرٌ, it has an outer shell, وَبَطْنٌ وَلِبَاطِنِهِ سَبْعَةُ أَبْطٌ. And even internally, its inner meaning, it has an infinite level of meanings, not only one. Outer meaning is only one, it's whatever you understand from the language. Internally, there's an infinite amount of meanings you can derive from the Quran. And how do you derive those? By reading it? No. By contemplating and by you elevating spiritually. As the hadith from the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he tells the people, اقرأ warqa, recite and elevate. Recite and increase in your spirituality. The more you increase spiritually, the more you begin to comprehend, because the Quran is a living book. It's true that it's language and it's words, but behind it is a spiritual meaning, and if you connect with it, you're able to elevate with it spiritually. That's why when we read it and we elevate, we begin to understand it on a more deeper level. So the condition to understand the Quran on a deeper level is to purify ourselves. To go back to that first nafs, the animalistic one. If you eliminate that, then at least when you read the Quran, you won't read it as a human being who is controlled by his animalistic desires. A lot of people from the companions of Rasulullah, they looked at him and they were stuck at that level. When the Prophet used to say something, they used to go down and write down. One of the companions used to write down the ahadith of Rasulullah. He would write them down, right? And he walked, and another companion saw him and told him, "What is this in your hand?" He said, "These are the ahadith of Rasulullah. Whatever he says, I write down. Everything that he says." He took it and he ripped it. And the man said, why are you doing this? He said, "Never write again what the Prophet tells you, or don't write down what you see from him." He said, "Why?" He said, "Because the Prophet is a human being. He's like you and me. Sometimes he might say something when he's angry. You write that down, and then you do it. This is wrong. Sometimes he might say things when he's happy. His mind is not all there. He's too joyful. Don't write it down. His mood changes." This is one of his companions of Rasulullah, they consider. He said the Prophet's mood changes. So don't write anything, just in case he was angry in that moment, he was happy in that moment, he was, I don't know when in that moment, he was in some form of emotion. So this man goes back to the Prophet and he complains to him. He says, Ya Rasulullah, this man is telling me not to write down any of what you're saying, anything you're saying. He said, why? He said, because he said that you're a human being and your mood fluctuates. He told him, write down everything that I say. For by Allah, nothing comes out of this mouth except the truth. Everything. Anything that comes out of this mouth is truth. You write down everything. Why does that individual see the Prophet as like that? Because he himself is in such a low level, he cannot comprehend any spiritual truth. He denies the possibility of there being an individual who doesn't get angry for no reason. The Prophet, as the Quran tells us, يَغْضَبُ لِغَضَبِ اللَّهِ, according to the ahadith. If Allah is angry at something, the Prophet gets angry. He doesn't get angry from his own will. If Allah is happy about something, the Prophet gets happy. He doesn't get happy from his own will. This is what we mean by infallibility. And to understand this, you have to understand that people can elevate spiritually and reach such stations. But if you're stuck on the lowest levels, you can never comprehend this. If someone tells you there's a mountain, behind this mountain there's a city of gold. It's all jewelry and all gold and whatnot. Or if you watched Aladdin, the genie in the lamp, right? There's that, you go in there, it's all treasures and gold and shiny things, and if someone tells you about that, you won't believe them because you've never seen it, right? All you've seen was the regular world. You don't go to a city here, random city, and find treasures just laying down over there, right? But when someone tells you this and you go there and they show it to you, then you say, yeah, this is possible. Even though I've never been able to comprehend it. And the same thing with spirituality. The more you elevate, the more you understand, wait a second, these things that I'm reading about, that the Prophet was elevated spiritually and the Imams were elevated spiritually, these are true. The Imam never lied. Not lying is not a very difficult thing. All it requires is some practice and self-control. Whenever someone says something or asks you something, just don't say a lie. The lie stems from this animalistic desire to hide something, to hide your weakness, to feel like if you have low self-esteem and you want to prove yourself to others, or you have something that you want to achieve, you would lie to people. But if you have self-control, why would you ever lie? I don't care what the consequences. And look at Imam Hussein alayhi salam when he teaches us in Karbala. Sallallahu Muhammad wa The Imam tells us in Karbala, when he was speaking to the enemy army, he told them that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told me and my brother that we are the masters of the youth of paradise. And I do not lie, for by Allah, I have never lied since I knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates those people that lie. All it took, the Imam understand that Allah despises, does not like you if you lie. And if you have that type of relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a relationship of love, and you know that Allah does not like you to lie, then you don't care what happens in this world. Whenever it comes to a situation where you have to lie or say the truth, you'd always say the truth. Because of your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Imam tells us that he's never lied since he knew that Allah despises the people that lie. And of course that was ever since he was born and became conscious and aware. So not lying is not a very difficult thing. Not becoming angry all the time is not a very difficult thing. You just have to tame yourself. You've all seen these shows where, they have that, the dog trainer. What's he called? It's a very famous show. He goes to people's houses and he tames dogs that are angry. And am I the only one who watched this? Or you guys, no one like, dog is najis, I can't, tell this, I don't want anyone to know I'm watching this stuff. It's still an animal, it's a dog. Allah talks about the dog in the Quran, right? He tells us that he was a companion of the people of the cave. So he goes and tames these animals, right? He goes into a house and this dog, as soon as he opens the door, he's barking, he wants to jump on him and rip him apart. This is an untamed animal. Or a horse, for those who have dog phobia. A horse, if you go to the wild, you have to control it. And you have to be able to, build this relationship with it by dominating it in a sense, right? Then it becomes submissive to you. So dogs are like that. By nature, they're rebellious, they attack, they bite, they hurt, they harm, they have an anger issue. Dogs need anger therapy, right? So this guy goes to these houses and tries to tame these uncontrollable dogs. Their owners don't know how to deal with them. The nafs is the same thing. It behaves like a dog when it's angry. When you become angry, the Prophet tells us that al-ghadabu darbun min durub al-junun. Anger is a part or a type of insanity. You lose your mind completely. You become insane. You look at a person who's angry and a person who doesn't have a brain, they're the same thing. That person, when they're angry, when they behave, is a complete different individual when they're calm. Two different people. Here, no brain, no mind. Over here, they're normal, and you can talk with them, and you can go out with them, you can play with them. But when they're angry, they become such a different individual. It's as if you don't even know who this person is anymore. You have to tame that self. Just like they tame the dog, if you look at the method that they use, they make it submissive. They make the dog submissive. You listen to me, not you do whatever you want. And the nafs is like that. The nafs wants to dominate the intellect, the aql. And that's going to be the topic that we're going to be talking about, inshallah, for the next 2 nights, from the hadith of Imam Ali alayhi salam to Kumayl ibn Ziyad. This is just an intro. The aql, the intellect, has to be the one that dominates in the human being. Not the emotions, not the desires, not the shahwa. If your desire dominates and it controls your aql, it's like that untamed dog, that rebellious dog. Doesn't listen to its owner, doesn't obey, bites them, attacks everybody they see, and you live a life of misery. So you have to tame your nafs, you have to control it. Anger is just one of these things. And you have to use methods to control it. You can't just go into a house where there's an untamed dog and expect that dog to change just like that. That dog tamer comes and says, look, you have to do this and this and this and that. Over time, you begin to control this dog. And the nafs is the same way. It's very rebellious. It doesn't like to listen. As Imam Sajjad alayhi salam tells us in one of the du'as, that this nafs is rebellious. As soon as you tell it to do something good, it begins to move away. It doesn't want to. It loves to fulfill its desires. It craves to do things that are not good for it. This is the nafs. This is how it is, the lowest levels of the nafs. So you have to tame it. When you're angry, there are ways to control yourself. Stop talking. Move to a different room. Don't converse with someone. In our ahadith, the Prophet even says or recommends that if you're in a specific state, if you're standing and you become angry, sit down. If you're sitting down, stand up. Just to change the situation that you're in, perhaps it would calm you down a little bit. Slowly, you'll overcome your nafs, to the point where your aql becomes the one that's dominant, the one that controls it, it tames it. You don't get angry until you give it permission to get angry. Just like that dog is standing there. If you're a good person who has good training and you train your dog very well, you tell a dog attack, it'll attack. Stop, it'll stop. They train these dogs, right, in situations like police dogs or army dogs or defensive dogs. They train them this way. They don't go and behave however they want. Every person they come and they see and they want to go and bite them or attack them. No. Only when the owner commands them, they obey. And the nafs should be like that. When you tell it to get angry, it'll get angry. Because at certain times you have to get angry, right? If someone's coming to rob your house, what are you going to do for them? You're going to bring chai for them and tell them, Islam talks about generosity and kindness and love. Here, Bismillah. Wait, before you take my TV, come sit down a little bit. Let's drink some chai, let's talk a little bit. Let's have some dinner together. Of course not, right? You have to defend yourself. So anger has a purpose. One of the purposes is for self-defense. If you're someone who is so mellow and doesn't have anger, then you're not going to respond to this situation correctly. You can't defend yourself, you can't defend your family, you can't defend truth, you can't defend justice, you can't defend these issues if you don't have anger. But if you have too much anger, then you're going to oppress other people. So it's a faculty, it's a desire that you have, but it has to be tamed. Again, just like that dog. The aql tells the anger when to work and when to stop. And it's the opposite way, where you become angry and you're triggered by something and you have no control over yourself, that's when you know that you have a problem. But if you know that you're the one who decides when it functions, then you're okay. You move on to the next trait. You tamed your anger, you're done. Move to jealousy. Jealousy is a big problem. When I see someone has something, and I wish that I had that thing and it goes away from them. I have a bad intent, I have envy, I have jealousy. Or I have greed. I'm not a generous individual. I'm always backing off when it comes to inviting people because I don't want to serve them. I don't want to pay for anything. I don't want to spend on my family. I'm not a generous individual. My children want something to improve their life, to make them a bit happier, and I say, no, this is, and I start using excuses. You know, that and this is bad for you, this is not healthy, and this is corrupting you, this is this and that. But really the real intention is because I'm greedy. I'm stingy. I'm not a generous individual. The Prophet praised the Arabs before Islam. He said that there is a few things that are very good in them. One of them is their generosity. And the Arabs were known for that. Until this day, they're known for that. In the past, you must have heard this before. Any person who went to the Arab world during the Jahiliyyah time and even the Prophet's time, a guest, someone who's from a foreign land, nobody knows who they are. They open their house for them, and they tell them to stay there. They feed them, they clothe them, they shelter them. And on the third day, they come and ask them, who are you? For 3 days, they don't even know who they are. They don't ask them who they are, out of their generosity. They open their homes. They don't care. He could be someone who's coming to assassinate the guy. He opens up his house for him. He tells them, come, this is your food, this is your shelter. After 3 days, they ask him, who are you, and what are you doing here? This is the generosity that they had. And this is a very beautiful trait that the Prophet praised that they had. Of course, they had other traits that were negative, but this was one of the good things that he praised them for. To become a generous individual, if you're not naturally generous, you need to train yourself on generosity. Anytime when it comes to giving, and you feel like there's something that's restraining you, force yourself to give. It's going to be hard the first time. But the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, you become generous by nature. You build this inside of yourself. It just needs practice and training. But if your whole life you're always holding back, you'll never change that trait. You can read 1,000 ahadith about how generosity is so praised by Allah, it will not change anything inside of you. Unless you go and you actively change this negative trait. So again, the aql tells you when to be generous. It controls it. If you're too generous, then you're making wrong decisions in life too. You're throwing your money everywhere, right? You're spending in one place, your family suffers from another place. So you have to balance that out as well. Generosity that's controlled by the aql again. So these are the things that Islam wants us to do. It speaks to us in this very basic language, yes, because it wants every human being to be able to embark on this path. But in this basic language are deeper and deeper meanings, and these meanings are derived from your spiritual elevation. This is the second point. The more you elevate, you get rid of your first nafs, then you embark on the journey, you begin to connect to the spiritual world, you start understanding things on a much different level. Just like if you study biology, right? If you study biology, every time you look at a human being, you're not going to see them the same anymore, right? Every time they move, now you're analyzing them based on their organs, based on their eyes, their legs. It's not just a human, it's not a simple outlook anymore, right? If you study journalism or editing or coding, and you see it like a program, you can't look at it normally anymore, right? You have to look at, this is what this guy did. This is what, you start knowing things on a deeper level. Or if you study cinematography, right? You can't watch movies normally anymore because you know the effects, how they come and how they happen and so on and so forth. You can't enjoy it the same way. But you have deeper knowledge of that thing. And the same thing when it comes to the Quran. The more you elevate spiritually, the more you're able to understand the secrets and the internal realities of this existence. And this is what we have to aim for. The companions of the Imam alayhi salam were individuals who had elevated themselves to those highest positions. They had overcame their animalistic desire. Not only that, they had even elevated on the many different levels of spirituality. They weren't people who were on the lowest first level or the second level or the third level. They were on the highest level, to the point that Imam Hussein alayhi salam says that I have not seen any companions like my companions. They're the highest of companions. Nobody. These 70 few that remained with the Imam from the tens of thousands of Muslims were filtered out. Imagine having one filter after another, after another, after another, after another, and what remains is the purest thing. It was these individuals who participated with the Imam alayhi salam in that battlefield. And these were individuals who had trained themselves, who had overcame their low desires and had gained proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the point that they saw truth with certainty. There was no doubt left in their hearts. This is the yaqeen that we have to reach, as the Quran tells us, وَعْبُدْ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينَ. Worship Allah until you reach the level of yaqeen, the level of certitude, where Imam Ali alayhi salam gives us an idea of this. He says, if the veil was removed from my eyes and I was able to see the world and reality as it is, I would not increase one bit in my certainty. He reached the highest level of yaqeen. If Allah removes his veil, shows him all of ghaib right now, the Imam says, not even one bit will increase, because he has reached the highest level of yaqeen. And the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam had reached that level. Of course, not the level of the Imam alayhi salam, but they reached a level where they had true certainty in the Imam alayhi salam, knowing that he was on the right path, knowing that if they die with him, they will reach the highest levels of Jannah and perfection and proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why when you see them in the battlefield, the enemies and those who were writing down what was happening in the battle, the historians, they were shocked. These people are flocking towards death. They're running towards death with so much love. Have you ever seen anybody running towards their death with so much love? Usually we're scared, we're hesitant, we run away from it. These individuals were running to their death. One individual, the companions fighting thousands of people at one time. Al-Qasim alayhi salam, his sandal breaks in the middle of the battle. Instead of, when you're fighting and the adrenaline takes over and you're overwhelmed by what's happening around you and you're so, filled with fear, you don't pay attention to things that are happening around you, especially if they're minute, small details. If your sandal breaks in the middle of battle, you probably wouldn't even notice, or you just kick it away. Al-Qasim very easily just bends down as if there's nothing. He is in so much tranquility and peace. He bends down to fix his sandal, and then he wants to continue fighting. What kind of individual is this? These are people who have reached that high level of itmi'nan, tranquility, certitude in their hearts with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they don't see this dunya as having any value for them. It doesn't matter what's outside here. I'm occupied with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am busy with enjoying this beautiful feeling and emotion of peace and tranquility with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that you are not aware of anything around you. As when Imam Ali alayhi salam was praying, the people used to say, when there were thorns in the Imam's skin, we used to wait until he performs his salah so we can remove them. Because when he's praying, that's when he's completely disconnected. He doesn't feel anything. This body that he has doesn't exist. He doesn't feel it anymore, because he's so ingrained in the spirituality, so deeply connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's only his spirit that is feeling things and living things. His body, as if it doesn't exist anymore. So these are the companions of the Imam alayhi salam. They reached those levels through practice, through rigorous spiritual practice and exercising. They weren't born that way. They worked on themselves. A lot of the people that are regular Muslims, they abandoned the Imam or they didn't fight with him. Now the lower ones, the lowest ones are the ones that promised him, when you come here, we're going to support you, then they abandoned him. We're not even talking about these people. These are people that are on the lowest of the low. But there were believers too. But those believers decided that they're not going to continue the path with the Imam. They haven't reached that level of yaqeen. So when we look at the companions of the Imam, we recount their stories because we want to connect to them. We want to learn from them. We want to reach that level of certitude that they had. Today, I want to recount one of these individuals who was not a companion of the Imam, but rather one of his family members. And of course, you all know his story, but we repeat these stories over and over again because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that you humans are forgetful. I've created you this way. I might tell you something now, and you forget it after a minute, after an hour, after a day, after 10 days. So repetition is necessary to remind us and awaken us. That's why the Quran is full of repetitions. The same story in one part, and then comes up again, and then again, then again, in different facets, different aspects. Why? Because this is a reminder. The Quran was sent as a reminder. We humans are very forgetful. And they say al-insan in Arabic means human being. It comes from the same root of nasayan, of forgetting. Same word. Because our nature is to forget. So when we recount these stories, don't think to yourself, oh, I've already heard this story before. It's not about repeating it and whether you heard it before or not. We repeat it in order to gain more insight and knowledge and reminders for ourselves. So when you recite salat, you should recite it as if it's the first time and it's your last salat that you're going to pray. Every salat should be different. Don't say, I'm doing this every single day 5 times. This is just a repeated act. No. Every salat has to be different. In every salat, you have to gain something that you didn't gain in the salat that's before. And every time this majlis is recited, it's a new majlis. It sounds the same, but in reality, it's a complete different majlis. What you're taking from it is not something that you took from the majlis before. So don't sit there and say, I heard this before, why is it repeating? No, this is a new majlis, even if it sounds exactly the same. Every time you read the Quran, the same thing. Al-Fatiha, every time you read it, it's a different Fatiha. So listen to it, contemplate, and connect with the Imam and his companions as if this is a new majlis that you've never heard before, so that we can spiritually be with them. Alayhum as-salam. Ali Akbar alayhi salam was the son of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. In the Battle of Karbala, it was the companions that had fought first. They fought to defend the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the etiquette, the adab, that they sacrificed themselves for the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. After the companions had been martyred, Ali Akbar alayhi salam stepped forward to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, to his father. They say that Ali Akbar's face reminded everybody of the face of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ali Akbar's character reminded everybody of the character of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imagine Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who lived with Rasulullah, who grew up with Rasulullah, who was raised with Rasulullah. Allah has sent him a child who resembled him in his look and his character. So that when he was in Karbala, it's as if it was a reminder that these people came to kill Rasulullah. They came to end this religion that the Prophet came with. And the Imam was there facing these individuals in order to protect this message and to maintain it. They say that Ali Akbar had approached his father and humbly sought permission to fight. Imam Hussein alayhi salam looked upon his son with the eyes of farewell. His heart was burning with sorrow. He could hardly bear it. But he gave Ali Akbar permission to fight. But the Imam began to cry and began to hug Ali Akbar. He knows these are the last moments he's going to live with his son. The last moments he's going to see his son. These are the moments where he's going to send his son into battlefield and he's going to be killed by the enemy. The Imam then raised his hands to the sky. Ali Akbar is going into battle. He knows what grave problem this is, what grave and tragic situation this is. He raises his hands to the sky and he prays to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He addresses him, Oh God, Allahumma shahad ala ha'ula'i al-qawm. فقد برز إليهم أشبه الناس خلقا وخلقا ومنطقا برسولك محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. O Allah, bear witness against these people, for now goes forth to them the one most resembling your messenger Muhammad in his appearance, his character, and his speech. Allahumma ashhad ala ha'ula'i al-qawm. Oh Allah, bear witness. Look at who these people are coming to kill. Allahumma amna anhum barakatil ard wa farriqhum tafriqa. Oh Allah, deprive them of the blessings of the earth. Scatter them into fragments. وَمَزِّقْهُمْ تَمْزِيقًا, and tear them apart, just like they are tearing my heart apart and the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. Then the Imam turns around and looks at the enemies, and he turns to the commander and says, Ya ibn Sa'd, O Ibn Sa'd, what is wrong with you? May Allah cut off your kinship, just like you have cut off my kinship. You did not honor my relationship with Rasulullah. Ali Akbar goes into battle, and he was reciting, Ana Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali. Oh people, I want you to know who I am. I am Ali, the son of Husayn, the son of Ali. نحن وبيت الله أولى بالنبي. By the Lord of the Kaaba, we are the closest people to the Rasul. Never shall the son of a corrupt man rule over us. أضربكم بالسيف أحمي عن أبي. Ali Akbar is telling the people, I strike you with the sword to defend my father Hussein, the strike of a brave, noble Hashimi youth. Ali Akbar then fought with courage, and the enemy couldn't bear it anymore. So many fell at his hands that the people began to cry in awe. Blood was streaming from the wounds of Ali Akbar because he was hit. Then he returned to his father. He was thirsty. He tells him, Oh my father Hussein, thirst is killing me, and the weight of this armor has exhausted me. Is there a sip of water that I can drink to gather my strength against the enemy? The Imam tells him, I don't have any water. How can I give you some water? He takes a ring and tells him, take this ring of mine and place it in your mouth. And I pray that before this day ends, your grandfather Rasulullah will quench your thirst with the drink, which you will never feel thirst ever after again. Ali Akbar returns to the battle, fighting fiercely until a man by the name Murra ibn Munqidh comes to Ali Akbar and strikes him on the head with a deadly spear. The enemies then surround him. Ali Akbar falls to the ground, and they begin striking him one after the other. Ali Akbar, knowing it's his final moments, he cries out, Ya Abata, O Father Hussein, peace be upon you. This is my grandfather Rasulullah. He came and brought me the cup that I shall never be thirsty again after. And he says to you, O Hussein, hasten and come to us, for there is a cup that is left for you. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون. Ya Allah, we ask you, Ya Allah, by the rights of the most beloved creatures to you, Muhammad and his family alayhim salam, to forgive all our sins. Ya Allah, purify all our hearts. Remove us from these lowest levels of animalistic desires. Elevate our souls, our spirits to the highest levels of spirituality, to proximity to you, to the yaqeen of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Ya Allah, we come to this majlis, we remember those who you love. We remember the most beloved creatures to you, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. We remember Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in order to bring that purity into our hearts. Ya Allah, make their wilayah purify our hearts. Ya Allah, everybody in this majlis has needs. Ya Allah, we ask you by the rights of this majlis, by the rights of Muhammad wa alihi alayhi salam, to grant them their needs. Anybody who has a hajj, anybody who has a wish, we all have our wishes. Whether it was small or big, Ya Allah, by the rights of Ahlul Bayt, grant them what they are asking for. Those who are sick in this majlis, those who are sick who we know, those sick of the mu'mineen wa mu'minat, Ya Allah, we ask you to cure them, to give them shifa, to give them afiyah, to give them well-being. We send the rewards of this majlis to the deceased of those who are attending here, and to the deceased of the mu'mineen wal mu'minat, along with Al-Fatiha ma'a salati ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Hussein, 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 Hussein,
Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein.
Hussein, Hussein.
Oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Everyone, oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Oh Ali Akbar, oh. Why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Everyone, oh Ali Akbar. Why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? You are leaving to go and meet your Lord, but I know that your chest will be pierced by the sword. For the sake of Allah, my tears I will hold. As you go to the battlefield, look back at me for one last time. Oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me? How can a father let you leave his side? Your face like Muhammad shining so bright. Never have I felt pain up this height. As you seek my permission to let you go for the final time. Oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me? Oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me? From a newborn to the man you are today, on Muhammad's path you've never gone astray. Within you is the part of Hussein. You took my eyesight with you when you left this world with a wounded chest. Oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? I have been carrying bodies all day. Now my back is broken, I can't keep it straight. Oh my son, I am tired and afraid. When you fall down on the hot sands, I won't be able to carry you. Oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? You have left my arms and headed to your end. For this one moment, by Allah, you were sent. That smile on your face keeps me content. But I yearn for you to turn back around and run into my arms again. Oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Oh Ali Akbar, oh Ali Akbar, why are you leaving me, Ali Akbar? Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, ज़बीह करबल شبیه سرور او آوهرو علی اکبر ذبیح کربل شبیه سرور او آوهرو علی اکبر ذبیح کربل شبیه سرور Oh, can you hear La ilaha illa the call of Akbar by idhn Mawla? Oh, can you hear La ilaha illa the call of Akbar by idhn Mawla? The call of Akbar by idhn Mawla. The call of Akbar by idhn Mawla. Reverberating in every era, reverberating in every era, is that adhan-e Ali Akbar, Zabih Karbal Shabih Sarwar, O our hero Ali Akbar, Zabih Karbal, everyone, Shabih Sarwar, O our hero Ali Akbar. Hussein said, Ya Ali taqaddam, O my beloved Shabih Khatam. Hussein says, Ya Ali taqaddam, O my beloved Shabih Khatam. O my beloved Shabih Khatam. O my beloved Shabih Khatam. Fida upon you, O Ibn Zahra. Fida upon you, O Ibn Zahra. Hazar Jane Ali Akbar Zabih Karbal Shabih. Everyone. O our hero Ali Akbar Zabih Karbal Shabih Sarwar. O our hero Ali Akbar. Alayka minni salam Baba. This is the farewell kalam Baba. Alayka minni salam Baba. This is the farewell kalam Baba. This is the farewell kalam Baba. This is the farewell kalam Baba. For we are reaching the culmination. For we are reaching the culmination of imtihan-e Ali Akbar Zabih Karbal Shabih Sarwar. Oh, our hero Ali Akbar. Hussein whispers in affirmation, you have accomplished your destination. Hussein whispers in affirmation, you have accomplished your destination. You have accomplished your destination. You have accomplished your destination. But never ending for Ibn Zahra. But never ending for Ibn Zahra is imtihan-e Ali Akbar. But never ending for Layla is imtihan-e Ali Akbar. Zabih Karbal Shabih Sarwar. Oh, our hero Ali Akbar. Oh, our Mawla, you carried Akbar a feat greater than Fatah Khaybar. Oh, our Mawla, you carried Akbar a feat greater than Fatah Khaybar. A feat greater than Fatah Khaybar. A feat greater than Fatah Khaybar. Hussein still has to bury Asghar. Hussein still has to bury Asghar. Oh no, Khan-e Ali Akbar Zabih Karbal Shabih Sarwar. Oh, our hero Ali Akbar. He is a model and inspiration for every conscience in every nation. He is a model and inspiration conscience in every nation, for every conscience in every nation. So come together today to enter, so come together today to enter the Karwan-e-Ali Akbar, Sabih Karbal Shabih Sarwar, O Awahero Ali Akbar, Sabih Karbal Shabih Sarwar, O Awahero Ali Akbar, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain.
Allahu Akbar, my beloved Akbar. Allahu Akbar, my beloved Akbar. Allahu Akbar, my beloved. Go and say the final azan. Go and say the final azan. It's time to test our iman. Allahu Akbar, my beloved Akbar. Allahu Akbar, my beloved. Oh Ibrahim Khalilullah, watch me as I offer my son to Allah. Oh Ibrahim Khalilullah, watch me as I offer my son to Allah. No blindfold for my eyes, no blindfold for my eyes. Is there anyone who hears my cries? Allahu Akbar, my beloved Akbar. Allahu Akbar, my beloved. Say hayya ala khairil amal, it's time to carry out our final amal. Say hayya ala khairil amal, it's time to carry out our final amal. For Islam we must sacrifice, for Islam we must sacrifice. In Shahada we must end our lives. Allahu Akbar, my beloved Akbar. Allahu Akbar, my beloved. You're the living ziyarah of Mustafa. In your walk, in your talk, and your looks you are. You're the living ziyarah of Mustafa. In your walk, in your talk, and your looks you are. Can the army of Yazid not see? Can the army of Yazid not see? Killing you is like killing a Nabi. Allahu Akbar, my beloved Akbar. Allahu Akbar, my beloved. When they raise your head on a spear in Sham, the scene you will see will cause you harm. When they raise your head on a spear in Sham, the scene you will see will cause you harm. No hijab will there be on Zainab's head. No one will recognize the daughters of Ahmed. Be sure to close your eyes. Be sure to close your eyes. Zainab's honor they will try to excise. Allahu Akbar, my beloved Akbar. Allahu Akbar, my beloved. Go and say the final azan. Go and say the final azan. It's time to test our iman. Allahu Akbar, my beloved Akbar. Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein,
Hussein,
Hussein, Hussein. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alayki ya Rasulullah. Assalamu alayki ya Nabiyullah. Assalamu alayki ya rahmatan lil alamin. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. السلام عليك يا عبد الله الحسين. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله الثقلين. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد البشرين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء. السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس. السلام عليك يا أيها المدفون بإرسطوس. السلام عليك يا سلطان العرب والعجم علي بن موسى الرضا الراضي بالقدر والقضاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. الأمان 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 ومن فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. هذا أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسعى الله تعالى مخرجك وزهورك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, all the young ones, please come and give our salams to the alim. Inshallah, tomorrow's majlis, inshallah, we'll have it at the same time. Please be here by